Welcome back to another class on Gemara Journey with Rashi. In Masecht Berachot Daf, Dalet Amud Aleph, this will be part 8 of the Shi'ur, 2 lines from the bottom. V'chachamim omrim ad chatzot. And the Chachamim, they said, until chatzot. We saw in the Mishnah, the Mishnah began asking a question, from when does one recite the Kriya Shema in the evening? We saw over there, from the time when the Kohanim entered to either Truma. But then we asked another question. Until when? So we saw that there are 3 opinions. One of them is Rabbi Eliezer, the second is the Chachamim, and the third one is Ram Gamliel. Rabbi Eliezer said, Ad Sova Ashmona Rishona, until the end of the first watch. Chachamim, they said, until midnight. And Ram Gamliel said, Ad Alot HaShachar, until dawn. Comes the Gemara wants to understand the Chachamim today. The Chachamim, they had to go ahead and they had to define the word Ubeshal B'cha. The verse in the Torah, when it says Ubeshal, when you lie down, that verse, how did the Chachamim understand that verse? Are they going to understand Ubeshal meaning like Rabbi Eliezer understood it? Or are they going to understand the word Ubeshal like Ram Gamliel, the way he understood it? So let's see that today. The Gemara asks a question. Chachamim keman svir lehu. The Chachamim, who do they hold like? Ik Rabbi Eliezer svir lehu. If they hold like Rabbi Eliezer, lemru ki Rabbi Eliezer. Let them say like Rabbi Eliezer. Again, pay close attention when you see the lamed again. It's like let them say, right? Like more like a question or like a statement. Look at Rashi. Rashi says, Ik Rabbi Eliezer svir lehu. If the Chachamim they hold like Rabbi Eliezer, the itli b'shal b'cha. Because Rabbi Eliezer has this principle of b'shal b'cha, meaning kol zaman shebnei adam oskim lelech v'lishkav. The whole time when people are occupied to go and sleep, ze magdim v'ze macher. Some go earlier, some go earlier to sleep, some go later to sleep. Lemru ki Rabbi Eliezer, let them say like Rabbi Eliezer. The Amar that he said, you see there's an Otvav, the Hagot Abach in Otvav says, you have to add the word ad. So let's go back over here. Lemru ki Rabbi Eliezer, let the Chachamim say like Rabbi Eliezer. The Amar, because that he said, ad sova ashmora rishona, until the end of the first watch. Devadai, because for sure, shekol sheda'atol lishon kvar, shachav yashen. Because anybody who already placed in his mind to go to sleep is already lying down and sleeping. The question is like this. The Gemara is asking on the Chachamim. Chachamim, you guys are saying Ad Chatzot, fine. But who do you guys go like? Which opinion are you going to go like? The first part of the question is we're asking on Rabbi Eliezer now. Are you going to go like Rabbi Eliezer that learns the word Ubeshal b'cha to mean until the end of the first watch? That's when people go to sleep. Some go to sleep earlier in the beginning of the night. Some will go to sleep a little bit later, but all this is done before the end of the first watch. So, Chachamim, are you guys going to go and understand the verse Ubeshal b'cha like Rabbi Eliezer? If yes, why did you have to say Ad Chatzot? You could have easily told me Ad Alot HaShachar, or not even bring your opinion here. Why did the Chachamim have to tell me Ad Chatzot? Rabotai, let's turn the page with music. 1 second. Rabotai is singing whatever. Hashem gave you a son, daughter, parnasa, house, everything. Rabbi Sai, turn the page. Kiss the page. Love the page. Be with the page. Sleep with the page. Eat with the page. Everything's about the page. Rabotai, the Gemara continues. V'ikar Rabban Gamliel svira lehu, and if the Chachamim they hold like Rabban Gamliel. Lemru ki Rabban Gamliel. Let them say like Rabban Gamliel. First line, white line in the Rashi. V'ikar Rabban Gamliel sfirilu. If the Chachamim they hold like Rabban Gamliel, the mashmalei b'shavbacha, because to Rabban Gamliel the word b'shavbacha is implied. Kol zman shebnei adam shochrim. The whole time when people are sleeping, v'yesh b'klal hazeh, and you have in this rule kol halayla. The whole night is included when people are sleeping. So that's what Rabban Gamliel tells you. You have until amud shachar to go ahead and say the evening Shema. So the question now, we can understand two sides of the question. Hachamim, you guys said ad chatzot. 1 second. When you're dealing with the word ub'shalbacha, are you going to go with Rabbi Eliezer that learns ub'shalbacha, meaning people go to sleep until the end of the first watch? If yes, so tell me, ad sov hashmona rishona. Why did you have to say ad chatzot? That's part number one. Part number two, if you Chachamim are holding like Rabban Gamliel that learns the word ub'shalbacha to mean the whole night, so say like Rabban Gamliel ad alot ashachar. Why did you have to say ad chatzot? Rabotai, very important piece of Gemara. Listen what the Gemara answers. La'olam, really, ki Rabban Gamliel sfirilehu. Really, the Chachamim they hold like Rabban Gamliel. Oh, like Rabban Gamliel. So why did they say ad chatzot? Very simple. V'hadika amri ad chatzot, and this that they told you that a person can only say Shema up until midnight, kidei laharchik et adam min havera, in order to distance a person from avera. Rabotai, remember we saw in the Daf Bet Amud Aleph. It's not that you're going to do the avera, maybe, not that you're going to do it. They're distant, because really you have until amud shachar. Over there, you have, no, they made it 6 hours early, whatever the time is going to be. They made it much earlier to distance you from a possible avera, Rabotai. Not that you're going to do the 100%, a possible avera. One more time. Lo oilam, really, Kiram Gamliel sirlu, really the Chacham they hold like Ram Gamliel. Oh, so why did they say ad chatzot? V'hadika amri ad chatzot. And this that they said until midnight, in order to distance a person from sin. Oh, before we continue, let's see Rashi. Rashi says, Min havera, Shema yismoch al shehut sheyeshlo. Maybe what avera is going to be there? Maybe a person is going to go ahead and he's going to rely on the time that he still has. Now he's going to bring you teaching. How can the case be speaking about? Like what can happen that I'm going to rely on? What am I going to rely on? So the Rashi says Kidetanya, like the Gemara is going to bring down now, Kidetanya. So one more time, Rashi, Rabotai. Min havera, what does that mean that the Chachamim wanted you to distance you from avera? Which avera? What avera? I'm not even doing no avera. Shema yismoch al shehut sheyeshlo. Maybe you're going to rely on the extra time that you have. Kidetanya, like it's taught in the Braita. Let's see the Gemara now. Kidetanya, like it's taught in the Braita. Chachamim asu sayag lidivrehem. The Chachamim, they made a fence for their words. Kedei shelo yeh adam. Listen to this, Rabotai. Kedei shelo yeh adam ba min hasadeh be'erev. In order for a person not to come from the field in the evening, and he's going to say like this, Elech lebiti, I'll go to my house, ve'ochal kima, and I'll eat a little. If you look into Rashi, Rashi says kima means the word me'at, a little. So one more time. In order for a person not to come home from the field in the evening and say, Elech lebiti, I'm going to go home, ve'ochal kim'a, I'll eat a little, ve'eshteh kim'a, and I'll drink a little, ve'ishan kim'a, and I'll sleep a little, ve'achar kach ekre kriyat shema, ve'etpalal, and afterwards I'll go and I'll say kriyat shema and I will daven Shemona Esrei, ve'chotafato sheina, and the sleep grabbed him. V'nimtza yashen kol halayla, and it comes out that you're sleeping the whole night. Aval adam b'min hasadeh ba'eruv, but if a person came from the field in the evening, nichnas lebeit haKnesset, he enters into the Beit HaKnesset. Im ragil likrot koreh, if he's accustomed to reading Chumash, let him read Chumash. V'im ragil lishnot shoneh, if he's accustomed to learning Mishnah, let him learn Mishnah. V'koreh kriyat Shema u'mitpalal, let him recite the kriyat Shema, and let him daven Shemona Esrei. Ve'ochel pito u'mevarech, and let him then go eat his bread and let him bless. Rabotai, listen to this very carefully. The Gemara is teaching us a very fundamental point in life. When you start pushing things away, when you start delaying, those delays are real. You think, what am I doing wrong by not saying the bracha right now, or sleeping a little bit more late in, or not learning Torah right now, or pushing, no, little by little. What am I doing? You think you do nothing by delaying your action. Come the Chacham, they tell you, the problem with delaying your action is? It's going to pass by and you're not going to do it. You're going to miss on the mitzvah. You're going to miss on the opportunity to daven, to learn Torah, and so on and so forth. That's what the Chachamim, they made a sayag. They made a fence. You're right. They really hold the word ubishav b'cha means, like from Gamliel, you have the whole night. So why did you Chachamim say up until chatzot? Because they made a fence for their words. A person, if you're going to tell a person that it's up until amud shachar, what is a person going to do? He comes home from work. He's going to say, look, wait, it's only 8 o'clock. Amud shachar, let's say it's 6 o'clock. But beautiful, I have another 8 hours. What am I worried? Let me go home. Let me eat a little, drink a little, sleep a little. Before you know it, you're sleeping the whole night. You wake up in the morning, you missed Aravit, Shema, no Shemon Esrei, you no learn Torah, nothing. So the Chachamim said, in order for this not to happen, in order for you not to rely on yourself, that you have that extra time, even though you have that extra time, the Chachamim, they're not going to give it to you. Because they're afraid something can possibly come out from there that's going to make you miss the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. Rabotai, something maybe possibly is going to come out. That's why they went there and they told you ad chatzot, only up until midnight. Lechatchil ad chatzot. Well, there's machlok in the beginning of the night until chatzot, whatever. But we want, according to Chachamim, you have from the evening until chatzot, until midnight. But what about the other 6 hours? No, that's bid-evet. If you were in oin, something happened, you didn't get a chance to do it, then you can rely on it after the fact. But not lechatchila. We want you to be able to get it done before chatzot. This is by Kriyat Shema that the Chacham are making this fence. Look at the Musar Haskel that the Gemara is teaching us. How careful a person has to be in the situation that he places himself in. Oh, Rabbi, I'm not doing nothing wrong, Rabbi. No. But is it possible that something wrong, that an avera can come out from there? Maybe. Yes. Don't do it. Right, Rabbi, this Gemara. Masecht Berachot Daf amud bet. And not only that, it teaches you another fundamental point. When you come home from work, by the way, there are leniencies. There are leniencies that tell you that since you're accustomed to learning Torah at night, so we're going to tell you go home and eat and so on and so forth. But even there, Rabotai, a lot of people, when they go home, they get tired, they eat and they go to sleep. Those are leniencies. The correct way to do is you come home, when you're coming home from work, the first stop is the Beit Knesset, base measures. You learn Torah, you daven, and then you go home. And you eat and you spend time with your family. This is what we do today. Is a very big leniency, by the way. Because, listen, we have the shul over here. That you have a set time over there. Okay, leniencies. But not what the Gemara respects, not what the Gemara expects of you. So we see over here, Rabotai, how important it is for one to be very careful and not to be fooled. Rabotai, this is sleep. I'm going to read the Rashi, what the Rashi says. This is sleep. We're afraid that sleep is going to overpower you. But when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with the environment, when you're dealing with the society, you think they're not going to be able to overpower you? 100% Rabotai. The environment makes who you are. That's you always got to surround yourself with good friends, with good B'nai Torah, with good synagogues, with good community, books around you, or you have TVs around you. What do you have around you? Rabotai, this is very important. Very, very important Musar Haskel for each person to know. I'll do it later. We come out of the bathroom, I'll do a Sheyat later. You ain't going to do it later. If you're not doing it now, you're not going to do it later. It's a 50-50 chance if you're going to do it, Rabotai. That's why. Come out of the bathroom, say that Sheyat right away. You have to say an after blessing, do it right away. You wake up in the morning, go down right away. Don't say, I'll do it later. That later maybe is not going to come. Maybe you'll get stuck. There's a halach in the Shulchan Aruch that says you cannot do any work before you daven Shemona Esrei. We're afraid that once you start doing work, you'll get pulled after work, and now you're not going to daven. Rabotai, I've seen them many times. People come to shul during mincha, they start putting on tefillin. What happened? I woke up late. Okay, so why don't you daven her? I thought I was going to do this. I got caught up in this. I needed to take my kids there. Then my wife told me this, and then I had to go to work, and then balagan. Okay, but Rabotai, how long did this whole balagan take him? How many hours did it stole? He sold his peace of mind. Hours. Because of what? Because of one moment of delay. Because when he would get up from the bed in the morning and he would say, I'm going to daven now, that's it, I'm going to daven, and not say, I'll do it later, all this would not have happened. You would have been saved from all the headaches throughout the whole day. So you ruined your own day. So, Rabotai, look at Rashi. When Rashi says, Mishum Oines Sheina, right? Because the Chachamim were afraid because of the Oines Sheina. Let me see. Where are we? Where's that piece? We still didn't get to it. We didn't get to it. We're going to get to it now. Fine. We're going to get to the Rashi yet. So, guys, one more time. Let's do this piece one more time. If the Chachamim, if they hold like Ram Gamliel, that the word Ubeshar means that you have the whole night, so why did they say Ad Chatzot? Like was taught in the Beraita. Chachamim asu sayag lidivrehem. The Chachamim, they made a fence for their words. Kidei shelo yeh adam ba bin hasadeh ba'erev omer. In order for a person not to come from the field, meaning from work, in the evening and say, Elech lebiti, I'll go home. Ve'ochal kima, and I'll eat a little. Ve'eshtek kima, and I'll drink a little. Ve'ishan kima, and I'll sleep a little. Ve'acher kach ekre kri shema v'itpalal. And afterwards I'll daven kri shema and pray Shemona Esrei. Ve'chotafto shena, and sleep has grabbed him. Ve'nimtza yashen kol halayla. And it comes out that he was sleeping the whole night. In order for this not to happen, that's why the Chachamim made the fence, and they said, Ad chatzot. Because I don't want people to think that they have more time. And what's going to end up happening? They're going to pass this man of Kriya Shema. Aval, however, Rabotai, the success to life. Aval, however, Adam ba'min hasad ba'erev. If a person came in the evening, if a person came from the field in the evening, meaning from work, nichnas lebeit knesset, and he enters into the shul, im ragil likrot koreh. If he's accustomed to reciting if he's accustomed to reading the Chumash, let him read the Chumash. V'im ragil lishnot shona. If he's accustomed to reading Mishnah, let him learn Mishnah. V'koreh Kriya Shema mitpalel. Let him recite the Kriya Shema. Let him go daven Shemona Esrei. Ve'ochel pito u'mevorach. And then let him go ahead and eat his bread and then bench. And then bless the Birkat Hamazon blessing. Continues the Gemara. The Gemara says, V'chol ha'over al divrei chachamim chayav mita. Anybody who transgresses the words of the Chachamim, he is liable for death. He's liable to death, or he's deserving of death. Rabotai, this concept of chayav mita is very interesting. Who's going to give him death? So you have to understand, if a person on a regular day, let's say he is in a place, in a makom sakana, in a dangerous place, and now something should happen, this is going to deserve this avera of not saying Shema, like the Chachamim said, until Chatzot, is going to cause him to die Chas v'Shalom. That's going to be the balance, right? Because like we have a scale. So let's say a person is over here, right? Say his mitzvot are over here, and the averet are over here. So the averet are more than the mitzvot. But still, that's not something that he should get punished for. A person can always do teshuvah. But Rabotai, but chayav mitah, but when you're dealing with the mitzvot from the Chachamim, that they tell you have to do it ad chatzot, and you don't want to do it ad chatzot, what's going to happen? Now that avera is going to actually tilt it, and that's where a person is going to get punished. Now he can chas v'shalom actually lolenu die. That's why a person has to be very careful. That's what he says over here. V'chol ha'over al divrei chachamim chayav mitah. Anybody who transgresses the words of the Chachamim, he is deserving of death. Now there's also different ways to explain. Does it really mean deserving of death? How could it be? How can the Chachamim words be more severe than the Torah? I'm not going to get into that. But the simple understanding of the Gemara, we're going to read it the way the Gemara reads it. V'chol ha'over al divrei chachamim chayav mita. Anybody who transgresses the words of the Chachamim, he is deserving or he is liable to death. Whichever way you want to understand it, that is fine. The Gemara asks, the Gemara asks a question. Why in every other place the Gemara doesn't write chayav mita when it comes to the mitzvah of the chachamim? But what difference is there that over here he taught you that he's chayav mita? Why? Why is the mitzvah of Shema different than any other mitzvah of the chachamim? The Gemara says, if you want, I will say, because over here you have the concept of oines sheina. Sleep can overcome him. Look what Rashi says. Mishum oines sheina, because sleep can overcome him. Because when sleep overcomes a person, it overpowers him to transgress on the words of the chachamim. Sleep is a very strong force. When a person is tired, by force, wanting, not wanting, when a person is tired, that sleep, when he says, I'm going to eat a little, drink a little, sleep a little, that a little sleep is going to overpower him to transgress on the words of the chachamim. That's not in the person's hand. That's why they said, that's why they were required to warn you more on this mitzvah of Shema and tell you chayav mita, where in any other mitzvah they wouldn't use that language of chayav mita. And if you want, I'll tell you like this. To exclude the one that says, Rashi says, later on in the chapter of Tefillat HaShachar on page 27, side 2, over there you have, he wants to exclude that man Amr. The Amr, because it's like this. Miman Amr, from the one that says, Tefillat Aravit Rishut, that the evening prayer is optional. He wants to exclude him. Kamashvalan de chova. He wants to, that's why he had to tell you chayav mita. Because to come to tell you that it's an obligation. If I wouldn't know this language of v'chol haver al divrei chachamim chayav mita, I would have also thought maybe the halacha is like the one that says later on that the tefillah of Aravit is only optional. Maybe it's not an obligation. So he told you, he added the word chayav mita specifically in this mitzvah and not in any other mitzvah. Why? To educate us and tell us we're excluding that opinion that holds Aravit is optional, and we are telling you that it's an obligation. So that's what Rabotai, Aravit is also an obligation. It's very important for a person to go ahead and daven Aravit. Even though it's optional, Rabotai, but we already accepted it as a chova, as an obligation. Okay. Rabotai, let's just run through the Gemara from here till where we ended in one shot without any back and forth. V'chachamim umrim at chatzot, and the chachamim said at chatzot. Chachamim kaman svir lehu. The chachamim, who did they hold like? Ik Rabbi Lezer svir lehu. If they held like Rabbi Lezer that said ubishabuch is until the end of the first watch, lemrik Rabbi Lezer. So let them say like Rabbi Lezer that a person is able to say Kriya Shema up until the end of the first watch. But if they hold like the Rambam Gamliel, I'm sorry, and if they hold like Rambam Gamliel, lemrik Rambam Gamliel. If they hold like Rambam Gamliel that ubishabuch means up until alot hashachar, so let them say like Rambam Gamliel, a person has up until alot hashachar. Why did the Chachamim have to tell us at chatzot? The Gemara answers, La'olam really ki Rabban Gamliel svir lehu. Really, the Chachamim, they held like Rambam Gamliel, that the word ubishabuch comes to teach you that a person has the whole night. V'hadika amri ad chatzot, and this that they said until midnight, kedei la'archik et adam min aver, in order to distance a person from sin. Kedetanik was taught in the Braita, Chachamim asu sayag l'divrehem. The Chachamim, they made a fence for their words. Kedei shelo ye'adam ba min hasadeh be'erev ve'omer, in order for a person not to come from the field in the evening and say, Elech lebiti, I'll go home, ve'ochal kima, and I'll eat a little, ve'eshte kima, and I'll drink a little, ve'ishan kima, and I'll sleep a little, ve'achar kach ekre krishma uve'itpalal, and afterwards I will say krishma and I will daven Shemra Esrei, ve'chotafato sheina ve'nimtza yashen kol halayla, and sleep grabbed him, it took control over him, It comes out that he was sleeping the whole night. That's why they went and they told you ad chatzot, in order for a person not to say, I still have time. Aval, however, adam b'min hasadeh be'erev. If a person came from the field in the evening, nichnas lebeit haknes, and he entered into the synagogue, im ragil likrot koreh, if he's accustomed to reciting chumash, let him recite chumash. Ve'im ragil lishno shoneh, and if he's accustomed to learning mishnah, let him learn mishnah. Ve'koreh kri shema mitpalel, and then recite the kri shema and down Shemona Esrei. Ve'ochel pito mevarech, and let him eat his bread and then bless birkat hamazon. V'chol haver al divri chachamim chayav mitah, and anybody who transgresses the words of the chachamim, he is chayav mitah. The Gemara asks a question: Mai shana bechol dukti delor katani chayav mitah? What difference is there that in every other place it's not taught chayav mitah by the mitzvot of the chachamim? Or mai shana hacha de katani chayav mitah? And why over here that you went ahead and you said chayav mitah, that it taught us over here by this mitzvah at chatzot, you told me chayav mitah. If you want, I'll tell you one answer like this. Mishum di'ika oneshena, because you're dealing over here with oneshena, where sleep is able to overcome a person, and that is very powerful, and that's going to make a person transgress on the words of the Chachamim. That's what the Chachamim had to warn you more over here, because a person doesn't have that control over himself. Because when sleep takes over, it takes over. If you want, I'll give you another reason why they had to tell you over here chayav mitah. La'afukin miman da'amar, to exclude the one that says they feel it arvid reshut, because davening the prayer of the evening is only optional. Kamashmalan the The reason why he told you over here that anybody who transgresses the words of the Chacham is chayav mitah, to show you that arvit is an obligation and it's not optional. Rabotai, have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. V'amen.